Hello and welcome to another episode of Just Jordan Things, where today we're talking about everything in the second trimester. Wait, no, this way. The second trimester. We are 29 weeks today and fully into the third trimester. But I want to do a recap of all the things in the second trimester, just so I don't forget how magical those moments were, because I miss them. I miss them dearly. We did the first trimester recap, which was basically just all the things I didn't realize about pregnancy. And the second trimester recap, I feel like needs to be broken up into like two different parts. The start of the second trimester and the end of the second trimester, wildly different people. Just so much happens in that short 3 months. At the beginning of the second trimester, you're so excited to be done with nausea, for the most part. I thankfully have been like clockwork, where on the morning I woke up on my second trimester, no more nausea, no more morning sickness. I had energy again finally. I was making breakfast. I was like cooking and baking and so excited just to be able to get up and not feel disgusting anymore. And in those first few weeks, you don't really have a bump anymore. Like your bloat has gone down. You have like tiny cute little bump, but most of your clothes still fit fine and you don't feel like you're waddling around everywhere. Or you're out of breath just saying a sentence. Can we? There have been a lot of ups and downs with this pregnancy, and most of those actually did happen in the second trimester as well. So it's not all good. It's just better than the first and better than the third. That's why I think most people are like, your second trimester is the best one. You're gonna enjoy it so much. That's a lie. I still don't enjoy it. I just enjoy it more than the first trimester or the tail end of it, where I feel like I'm gonna fall down the stairs because I'm top heavy. But alas, we made it through, and it was fun during this time. If you are pregnant, travel before the end of your second trimester. I cannot stress this enough. I went on 2 trips in my second trimester. One towards like the middle, and then one towards the end. And towards the end was drastically different. It was not a fun time. It was miserable sitting in those cramped Blue Airline seats. Previous, it was like before. Wait, over here. Before, it was fine. It was great. I didn't have any problems sitting on the airplane at the beginning. At the end, everything was uncomfortable. Could not get comfortable in a plane seat to save my life. I didn't have my pregnancy comfort pillow. Just a lot of differences. But most important for both trips was to get compression socks and bring Tums. That's something about the second trimester I wasn't prepared for, is the massive amounts of heartburn that you get for no reason. Mine wasn't that bad. It just means like I could eat a Tum and it would feel better. It was still constant every single night when I would lay down to go to bed. Tums help though. And then that went away towards the middle of the second trimester, which was nice. Then all I had to worry about was all of the blood tests. Boy, were there a lot of them. Let's do a breakdown of the good and the bad of the second trimester, because there's a lot more good on our list than in the first trimester. And the bad isn't as bad as the first trimester, in my opinion. On the good side, you have your anatomy scan. You get to see like a fully formed little nugget. You find out the gender. Some people find out before, but we found out in the second trimester. We had our baby shower in the second trimester. We had it a little bit early because we were going to Ireland and Switzerland. So most people, I think, wait until the beginning of the third trimester, but there's nothing that says you can't do it in the second trimester. We came up with a name during the second trimester, which was really fun, kind of. We started reading parenting books. We set up the nursery. Don't wait until your third trimester. Go set it up now. There are so many boxes to unbox. Washing the clothes, setting up the crib, the dresser, the chair, the bookshelf, the shelves on the wall. Like, it's a lot of work to get that room ready. And if you're putting it off until the third trimester, when you can barely move and that baby could come any day, you don't need that added stress to your life. Set it up for the second trimester. What else good was there? Yeah, the mobility, the freedom to like tell people you're showing now. We started shopping for baby things. We actually bought the majority of everything in the second trimester. I have not been shopping for baby clothes or baby things for a good month, and I don't feel like there's anything left that we like need, which is a great feeling to have because I feel like we are prepared. I have my diaper bag ready. Like we're solid. Like all we have to do for the next 2 months is just relax and wait. Now the things they didn't prepare you for. I remember looking forward to all of the baby kicks. I think at 16 weeks, I started feeling like those little, like they call them butterfly kicks, like those butterfly flutters. They're like, oh, that's your tiny little baby moving. And then I would grab my husband's hand and I would put it on my belly. I'm like, can you feel it? And he's like, no, I can't feel it. It's too little. That's short-lived. Enjoy that moment because then it starts getting real strong. Then you're like, oh, okay. I have a soccer player in there. That's fun. You're running out of space. Where are you gonna go? And the kicks just get stronger and they start to hurt. Baby's butt was fully just in my rib cage for a good 2 weeks. It hurt to do anything. And then he would kick in my rib cage. And the doctor was just like, oh yeah, his butt's just under there. At one point he'll like get too big and he'll pop out this way. And I'm like, what do you mean? That doesn't sound comfortable. It wasn't. I started my mobility exercises in the second trimester, which it felt good to be able to get up and move again because in the first trimester, I couldn't really do anything. I just laid there and tried to survive. The second trimester, I was like, yeah, I'm feeling motivated. I want to do things. I want to stretch. I want to prepare my body for birth, which is cool, but you get out of breath so quickly. And your level of fitness that you think you're at, you're not. Quite funny. You learn very quickly how much you can do in the second trimester. And your baby's gonna tell you you're doing too much. You might have the ambition to do all the things, but you do not have the energy to do all the things because the baby is stealing your blood. The baby's basically a vampire. More bad things in the second trimester for me personally was the mental health journey. This is kind of a good bad situation because I started seeing my therapist. Luckily, in one of my prenatal care visits, I was talking to my doctor about the mental health screening that they do for prenatal care. And she suggested like, hey, look, based on these answers, like, let's get you in to talk to someone and see a prenatal therapist. And that was probably the best decision I made for my pregnancy because of how much it has helped. Just being able to talk to someone about this experience and have that space to process the emotions and have someone understand what's going on and kind of like walk me through how to think about them is so drastically important. And I encourage anyone who is pregnant, I encourage anyone generally to go to therapy because it is a preventative care thing. You go to therapy to work on things. You go to therapy to learn the coping skills for when you need them. I have always been a huge advocate of therapy. I am always going to recommend it to every single person I know because all it can do is good. It's just gonna help. And you only get out of therapy what you put into it. And I think that's where a lot of people get stuck on it's not doing anything, it's pointless. Like, you have to go with your vulnerable self, willing to show up and address like a mirror and have that reflected back to you and then do the work to be able to get something out of it. And I know that sounds scary and hard, especially in a vulnerable state like pregnancy, but it has helped me not only dealing and coming to terms with like this whole experience changing, but understanding how to navigate different social relationships, set boundaries with our family members, figure out the things that we needed to prepare for, discussions about parenting styles and conversations that come up between me and my husband about how we were raised, how we want to raise our child, like making sure that we're thinking through all of those things to set us up for success when the baby does get here. And like postpartum depression is so real and so many people struggle with it. And having someone to talk to beforehand can help so much. I am so out of breath. What else happened in the second trimester? I feel like it went so fast, it was a blur. You can lay comfortably in the second trimester. That goes away. Relish that moment because my favorite phrase has become rotisserie chicken. And that is in the middle of the night when I turn from one side of my pregnancy pillow to the other side of my pregnancy pillow. And I make this like gigantic shift in the bed. In the beginning, I was yelling out rotisserie chicken as like a Pokemon move. I no longer do that, much to my husband's satisfaction. He's very, very happy that I no longer do that because it would happen in the middle of the night, like at 11 o'clock. I didn't realize how late it was and I couldn't fall asleep. And I'm just sitting there like, rotisserie chicken. And he's like, okay, I was sleeping, but okay. Sorry, honey. Side note, any beef that men pretend to have with pregnancy pillows, it's because they're jealous. They're jealous. Because you know what? If you let them sleep in it, they will cuddle up in there because it is the comfiest thing they've ever experienced. I don't know who loves my pregnancy pillow more in this household, between me, my husband, and my cat. Notice, Dozer is not here in its usual spot because he has taken a permanent residence in our bed inside of my pregnancy pillow curled up on a daily basis. That's our life. It's going to be a sad day when the pregnancy pillow leaves and the baby bassinet comes in, because I feel like Dozer is not prepared for that. He doesn't know what's going on. He kind of knows what's going on, but like that day is that's going to rock his world. He's going to be like, this is not what I signed up for. Speaking of which, if you have pets and you're pregnant, how early on did they realize you were pregnant? Because for me, it happened in the second trimester. And Daisy has always been a little cuddle bug, but she wants nothing but to cuddle with me. Like every opportunity she gets, she's trying to walk over dad and cuddle with me, which she always prefers Grant over me because he is more fun. But now she just wants to be next to me, near me all the time. And Dozer too. Dozer it is the cutest thing. Every single morning he comes up and he cuddles right next to me. He lays next to my little belly and he purrs. It is the sweetest thing in the entire world. He'll rub his head on my belly. He will do little paws and boops, and it's the sweetest thing in the entire world. Again, I don't think he understands what this means for him in the long term when this is outside and crying and pooping and disrupting his environment. But for now, he's like, oh, this is so sweet. This is so cute. He is the best emotional support animal anyone could ask for. Anytime I'm not feeling good, you best believe Dozer recognizes it. He is there. He is cuddling with me. My husband needs to follow our cat's lead to understand when I'm not feeling good because of how in tune he is with everything going on with my system right now. Second trimester. What else has happened? Oh, let's talk about the boundary setting practice that you get with pregnancy. This mostly happened for us in the second trimester. I feel like there's not going to be much more because of how much we set up in the second trimester of expectations of family members, when they're going to meet the baby, the things that we're requesting of them to be able to meet the baby within the first 6 months, our birth plan, visitors in the hospital or not, all of those things. We put the groundwork in right up front because I don't want to deal with it in the third trimester or when the baby comes. I want to be prepared. I am a prepared type A person. That is definitely something I was not expecting, is just how many boundaries with people you have to set during pregnancy. I'm so very thankful that our friend group either already has kids, is currently pregnant, or is right behind and in the same kind of life stage as us. So we fortunately don't have to worry about friend group changes. We're all experiencing the same life stages together, and nothing has really changed about oh, well, you can't hang out anymore. We can't do this because you have a baby or you're pregnant. Those things fortunately just don't exist. And I know that's a huge one that a lot of people experience, but what didn't exist for us is the family conversations of if we're accepting visitors in the hospital. No, thank you. I don't want visitors in the hospital. And that's a personal preference. I understand. I can go into a much more in-depth conversation about what boundaries we set, how we set them with people, how we're constructing our birth plan to set us up for success and have those difficult conversations with family members. For the most part, our family is understanding and respects our boundaries, which is amazing. Do they have their own opinions of things? Of course. Do they want to share how it was 30 years ago when they had a kid and how yeah, but they also understand this is our baby, not their baby. For my husband, this is the first grandchild. So they are so super duper excited. And the boundaries we are setting is not a bad thing. It's just their excitement of wanting to be involved and wanting to show up and wanting to do things. And we're hey, well, you don't gotta be here for a couple months after. It's okay. You don't have to stay with us. No. I mean, I appreciate it, but let's pump the brakes a little bit and figure out a system that works when we're ready to introduce the baby to people. I want to make sure that I'm good to go when I'm done giving birth. This is my first pregnancy. I have no idea what that postpartum experience is going to look like. So creating a bubble for ourselves where we're not overcommitting to other people being in that bubble with us is super important. And those are the boundaries that we are creating now. The foundation of boundaries. Grant and I are actually making a decision tree so that we don't have to think about the process of when we're ready. When the time comes, it can just be like a yes/no bracket, and the pressure of like, are we ready to have people? I don't know. And feeling that like, because people are going to be so excited to meet the baby, and we understand that. But we don't want to feel that pressure of them being excited before we're ready, if that makes sense. We've gotten real good at setting boundaries in our life, and we're very thankful that everyone in our life respects our boundaries, because if you didn't respect our boundaries, you wouldn't be in our life. That's kind of how that works. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Boundaries are meant to progress a relationship, not to end one. If someone doesn't respect a boundary you're setting, it means that they don't respect you in the relationship, unfortunately. Other things we weren't expecting that came up during the second trimester is how many people want to buy you things for your baby. And this is coming off of, we just had a wedding and people bought so many things for us off our wedding registry. We were so grateful. We were so thankful. We were so happy. And we were like, we understand. Everybody just got us something from our wedding registry. Like, we tried to include so many different options on our baby registry of like books and smaller things so that people didn't feel obligated to buy the super expensive stuff, because baby stuff is super expensive. And I also planned to thrift the majority of it anyway, because everything can be washed. The only things I wanted new were the car seat / stroller, because we got a travel system. Is that the only thing? I think so. That's more of a safety reason, because I don't know how other people have treated their car seats. And a car seat, if you get in one accident, it's like a helmet. Like, it's, the safety's gone and they expire. So the car seat was the big thing that we wanted, like brand new. Everything else can be washed, can be sanitized, can be cleaned. We did end up buying a new crib and a new dresser, mostly again for safety reasons, because we not only wanted to make sure we had the Grow With Me accessories and parts for the crib, but that they were assembled correctly. So you can't really ensure that somebody else has assembled it correctly if you're not like witnessing it. But other than that, you don't need anything new for a baby, really. Like, there is so much marketing that goes into the world of pregnant people and telling them what they need. And you have this, like, you see online of all of these like unboxing things from my baby shower and like, here's how much stuff I got. And then the comparison of like, oh my gosh, I don't have any of that and I'm 32 weeks. Or I don't have anything set up and, you know, like I'm about to give birth tomorrow. Like, what am I doing wrong? And I feel like in pregnancy, you're just so vulnerable. We experienced this with the wedding industry a year ago, but with pregnancy, there's this added layer of like your expectation for your unborn baby, and you want to do your best. You want to give it everything it needs. You want to spoil your child. And I think a lot of companies take advantage of that vulnerability and market things that you don't necessarily need for your baby. Again, that's not to say that I haven't bought the majority of them, because I have fallen victim to, I want the cute nursery setup. I want, you know, the 3 different types of carriers because I didn't know which one. And, you know, I bought X amount of different pacifiers because who knows what one my baby will prefer. The bottle washer, because you never know, like you're going to need to wash bottles. They can go in the dishwasher. But regardless, circling back to my point, people are so excited to buy baby things for you. Like, just, I get it. Baby things are cute. Baby things are fun to shop for. But it is absolutely incredible how much support you will get from people when you have your baby shower. I think by now you've seen our baby shower video. If you haven't, I'll link it somewhere here. Somewhere. But that's also something that, don't feel pressured to do it a certain way, because there's traditions, there's standards, there's expectations. Like, do what you want to do and what makes you feel special and celebrated, and like you're enjoying your time with your friends and family, because this might be one of the last times you get to enjoy free time with your friends and family for a very long time. So make sure you are cherishing that moment, because 3rd trimester, and I'm sure when the baby's born, I'm not enjoying spending time with people. I'm not walking around, going to house parties and, you know, talking about things it's just, My life is consumed by baby kicks, heartburn, and an inability to sit, stand, or lay down for longer than 20 minutes without being in pain. So relish the time that you have not feeling like that, because I feel like it's going to be a long time before we start to feel normal again. We've been doing a lot of preparations for what it's going to look like and expectations for like the bounce back after baby. Look, I'm 32. No, 33. I'm 33. Ain't gonna be no 20-year-old bounce back. Like I am fully aware that my body is never going to look the same way it did before. I might not fit into any of the clothes that I had before, and I might not even have the opportunity to get back into working out the way I want to. So 6 to 8 weeks of that recovery time is like that's the bottom. Like that's the minimum. Like there's a 4th trimester of just figuring out how to deal with your body bleeding for a month straight and learning to change your baby's diaper and your diaper and make sure you're drinking enough water so that your milk supply comes in, and also making sure that your baby's getting enough food and weighing it. And like, there's a lot that's going to go on in that 4th trimester. And I think preparing myself now for kind of what that expectation looks like, and this is a lot of the work that we've been doing in therapy, is like processing what that looks like, looking at this feeling of wanting to be done with pregnancy already at the start of my 3rd trimester, and what things I can do to cope with that, to regulate myself through these difficult times. And then when those changes comes where it feels like, oh, I'm finally done with the pregnancy part, but I'm not done, like moving forward through that as well. I mean, I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not looking forward to it. Like everybody, this is the thing. Look, I know I want a baby, okay? That's not the problem. I'm willing to make the sacrifice of being pregnant so that I can have a child. But it doesn't mean it doesn't suck. And it doesn't mean you get to tell me that I have to just shut up and deal with it because this is what I wanted. No, I don't. And putting down women's struggles with the difficult thing that they're doing is quite literally the problem. We're allowed to talk about the difficult things in pregnancy. In fact, I think we should talk about them more so that people can make an informed decision if they actually do want to be pregnant and make the sacrifice of having a baby. Because it is a sacrifice, and you do need to be fully prepared for what you are signing yourself up for. Otherwise, you're going to resent your baby one day, maybe. Like, I'm not just going on a rant, but I can see why there's so many people that struggled having a baby really young with bonding with them, with postpartum depression, with figuring out how to be an adult, like losing their pink. I don't know if you've heard that phrase, but like women feel like they lose a part of themselves when they become mothers, because all of these things that I'm talking about in my 1st trimester video and my 2nd trimester video, they're not talked about. They're pushed under the rug. We're told to just stay hush about them, go stay inside while you're pregnant, stop wearing tight-fitting clothing, like hide yourself in a way, when this is the most beautiful thing that could ever happen. Like this right here, what's happening, is the only reason society is progressing. Sure, we need a man there for like 30 seconds to do like the beginning part of the job. We're literally creating all of humanity. All of humanity that has ever been born has come through this process. And I think it's important to support the people that are struggling through it. Just a thought. Final thought before I go take a nap, because I'm out of breath from talking for this long. Requesting information from the government to file disability should not be that difficult. I just got the form today in the mail, but I tried to do it online and then it got stuck in an endless loop of like, log in. Wait, you have an account. Oh, is this you? Log in. Sorry, we can't process your request. Log in. Sorry, we can't I'm just trying to get a form. I just want one form, okay? So I couldn't process it online. Understandable. Cool. Call the number. Okay, I'm gonna call the number. Call the damn number. Try to get through the automated system for 10 minutes, wait on hold, get to the part where it's like, request a form. Okay. Request my form. I'm sorry, there's no people available right now. Hang up. What the fuck? The inefficiencies of that system. Like, why are you So then I call back. Then it's like, leave a message with your name, address, and information of like what form you're requesting so we can mail one to you. And basically it's just like in the abyss. Hopefully someone checks it in the next month so I can file for disability. I ended up finding some like link on a Reddit thread somewhere of someone saying like you can request one online, which you still have to like go through adding it to your cart and like setting up a profile. And like, look, why can't we just print off a form? Okay, so I did it and I have the form. I'm gonna send it back. I'm gonna finally apply for disability so I can get paid during my pregnancy leave. But oh my gosh, why is it so difficult to just go on maternity leave? It shouldn't be this difficult. Fortunately, my company is giving me 3 months of maternity leave. So from August till basically the end of the year, I just get to spend time at home, see my baby, figure out what the hell we're doing. And I've thought about using that time to try to start up writing my book again. We'll see. That may be overly ambitious for the state of mind that I'm in, but I'm like halfway through. I feel like it might be a good time to pick it back up. We'll see. TBD. Hold me accountable. Check back with me in 2026 and ask me how far I got on my book, because it's probably not going to be very far. Thank you for being here and listening to me rant about pregnancy for 30 minutes. I hope this was helpful in some way, or validating in another, or reminiscent of a previous pregnancy that you had that you forgot about and you didn't want to relive the memories of. I'm Just Jordan. Wait, no, I'm Jordan. This is Just Jordan Things, and I will see you after I give birth. Bye.